Shree Mataji, to all the joinees. A very warm welcome from Sahaj family to one and all. As you know that we have started this channel on YouTube and Zoom for people who are seeking to understand more about Sahaj Yoga. We started this when lockdown happened last year, and we are almost going to complete a year since we started this. And thousands of you have joined us through this channel. And daily we have 3 sessions where we are explaining about Sahaj Yoga, and we are having self-realization sessions. One in the morning at 7:45, another one at in the afternoon at 4:15, and a third one in the evening at 7:45. Apart from that, for those who have understood and established in Sahaj Yoga, we have a session where we are trying to have a deeper session for meditation at 5:30 in the evening. So we have joined, we have been able to touch base with a lot of people across the country and across the globe. And some of you made requests about having this session in English language because Hindi is not a very comfortable language for some of us. So we decided to have this a weekly session in English in the evening for those of us who want to understand more about Sahaj Yoga in English language. So let us start this session just to give a brief about what we'll be doing in the next hour or so. So we'll have a small brief introduction about what Sahaj Yoga is, who Shree Mataji is, and what do we do in Sahaj Yoga. And then after that, we'll talk a little bit about our internal subtle system, our chakras and nadi, and then we'll go into meditation. After that, if you may have any questions, we can get into a small Q&A session as well. So starting off, I think you may have heard last time as well what Sahaj Yoga is, but let me try and reiterate a little bit in short about what it is really. So Sahaj Yoga is, you can call it essentially a form of meditation, where we are basically talking about Kundalini awakening. Shree Mataji, Nirmala Devi started this organization in 1970. She started giving self-realization to people in that year. As her husband was in the UN, he was chief of International Maritime Organization for 7 consecutive terms. So stayed in London. Shree Mataji also went there, and then she started spreading Sahaj Yoga across the world. Now Sahaj Yoga is spread across more than 150 countries. Sahaj Yoga has no membership or a course that you can do about it, or there is some money that you can pay for getting a realization or anything in Sahaj Yoga. So there is no money ever taken or given in any shape and form in Sahaj Yoga. Shree Mataji has kept it completely free because essentially, how can you pay for God is what her ideology is. In fact, she says that most of the gurus that are in the market these days, you can count them out as not being genuine because of the fact that they charge money. So it's not possible to pay anything for your self-realization. There's essentially nothing that we can give. There's only to take from a person who's on a higher state to get to something that is divine. So about Sahaj Yoga, what it is, how it is different from others, etc. So Sahaj Yoga, the name essentially it means spontaneous union. The word yoga, as we understand it, is very different from the actual meaning of the word. So we have understood yoga to be maybe concentration, maybe exercises, a lot of other things that are happening in the name of yoga these days. So yoga is essentially union. It's a Sanskrit word which means union. So the union of yourself with the divine is what the aim of pursuing all activities in the name of yoga is. So So here we are talking about union with the divine. We are talking about meeting God's power, being one with Him. And it's sahaj, means it's spontaneous. It happens on its own. So Shree Mataji says that all living processes happen on their own, and your self-realization is a living process. We are talking about meeting with God, a living God who does all the living work on this earth, right from a flower becoming a fruit to a baby being born to anything that is living, all that is done by Him. So this is a living process that happens spontaneously. It cannot be done because we have done some particular exercise, we have read some book, we have done some kind of an activity, so we have got a realization. No, it happens on its own. It's a spontaneous process, which is why the name Sahaj. It's a very difficult concept to understand. Then what do we do to get self-realization? So we'll come to that shortly. So how does it happen? What it is that gives us our self-realization? And so it's Sahaj Yoga is completely experience based. Here there is no certificate that is going to be given from us that yes, you are a realized soul now. You get it on your own. You feel cool vibrations coming into your hands. You know which chakras are catching inside you. You know which chakras are catching inside another person. So you can check chakras of anybody. Then you know how to cleanse yourself, how to cleanse others, how to cure diseases also. Diseases also get cured in Sahaj Yoga sometimes, many a times, because when Kundalini rises, it cures everything inside us. So I will not go into a lot of details right away about Sahaj Yoga. Let's do a short presentation about our subtle system, and we'll try and understand more about it. Uh, so Mayank, if you could just put up that chart, we'll talk about our subtle system a bit. So we know that from outside we all look very different. We have so many different varieties across the globe. We look so different, but inside God has created us in a very I should say organized way, and we all look the same in fact from the inside. So when we are in our mother's womb, when the baby is in the mother's womb, the we say after 2.5 months, God's power, you can call it whatever you like, the divine energy, the whatever you want to call it, enters the child from the top of his head on the fontanelle bone area here, and it creates a whole system inside us. And this system is what is sustaining us. It's giving us the energy for all our bodily activities. So we say that we have an autonomous nervous system. When we run faster, breathing grows faster, heart rate goes up. When we slow down, it also goes down. So there's somebody doing that inside us. There's an autonomous nervous system. Somebody is doing the digestion inside us. So all that is covered and is governed by something that is giving energy to everything inside us, not just on a physical level, even on our mental level, on our emotional level, on how we behave in the society, how we behave in the family. Everything about us is governed by something inside us that has been created when we were in our mother's womb. So this energy enters inside us from this center, from this fontanelle bone area, and creates 3 channels inside of us, and 7 centers that we can see in this chart are shown as small flowers kind of things, we can see in the chart. So all of this gets created right then, and then we come into this world. We are a small child, and it's said that in Indian culture, it's said that a child is like a god. It's the form of God because he's innocent. A child, he or she is innocent and is connected to God, because this bone area, if you've seen in a child, is very soft and is pulsating. So this pulsation happens when we get our realization sometimes. So Kabira has said, Shunya Shikhar par anhat bajere. So Shunya Shikhar is the top, the Shikhar is the top, and anhat baje. Anhat means percussion sound without any percussion actually. So that happens in a child, as in when the child grows up, um, they develop their ego conditionings, all this mind business, and you essentially you get into the mire of this world that we know of, and this connection then gets broken, and we have a calcification that happens in a child. So that connection was there because God's energy comes inside us at that time, and then a calcification happens. So this energy, God's power, creates all of this inside us, this whole system, and then rests, comes down and rests in our sacrum bone. So it's a bone almost at the end of our spine, and it's in a triangular shape. This bone has been called as sacrum by the Greeks thousands of years ago. So that proves that even the Greeks knew about this bone being sacred for some reason. Probably they knew about Kundalini as well. So this energy comes down and forms coils. And we know that coils are called as kundals in Hindi. And in 3.5 coils, it comes and lies down in this sacrum bone, and it sleeps there. So it's in a sleeping state. It has to be awakened. Awakening the Kundalini and piercing our Sahasrara back, that is our fontanel bone area, that's the door to God's kingdom, we can say. That is self-realization, essentially. So this energy is called as Kundalini because of the coils, the kundals that it has. So it uncoils itself and rises up and pierces our fontanel bone area here. And we feel the energy of the divine flowing through us. So that is self-realization. We also have our spirit here in our heart, which is also reflected here, which gets enlightened post realization. What happens when we get a realization? So we start feeling the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost, as it's called in Bible. We start feeling the Salilam Chaitanya, as described by Adi Guru Shankaracharya in his scriptures that he's written. It is as promised by Muhammad Sahib in Quran that our hands start speaking and they start giving witness against us. So what is all of this that I'm talking about is that we start feeling our centers that we have shown here and our nadis on our hands and our fingertips, because we know that this is the nervous system. Nervous system has its endpoints on our fingers and our legs. So we also have the chakras on our legs, a lot of places. But for meditation, we open our hands in our lap and we feel the chakras on our hands. We also feel the vibrations. What we call as vibrations is essentially, it's called as Param Chaitanya, which is the power of God, the all-pervading power. We feel that in the form of cool breeze, or it may be hot, depending on our state, depending on the state of our channels, in fact, and our chakras. So this breeze and this chakras tingling sensations on the feelings and all, this starts, and this is described, as I just mentioned about, in various scriptures. So once we start feeling that, that is the first time that we know about ourselves. So we don't know what's wrong with us right now. We may have maybe some problem somewhere in the body. We go to the doctor says you have this big, huge disease inside you. And we say that how did it get developed? Or we have stress. We do not know, constantly we are under stress, and we do not know why there is so much stress inside us. So it's essentially because there is some imbalance in some of these chakras, these nadis. We have to work on that and clear it out in Sahaja Yoga. As and when we do that, everything becomes better. So for the first time, we know what is wrong with us, what is good. For the first time, we feel the power of God flowing through us. We can use that power to cleanse ourselves, cleanse others. We can feel others' chakras. So we are essentially, truly, we are collectively conscious. We are collectively conscious, meaning that we are conscious about the collective. We can feel the vibrations of anybody sitting even in the US from here in India. So when we are in meditation, we get this power inside us. And post that, we also know in Sahaja Yoga there are various methods to correct each other, correct ourselves. So this is essentially what happens when you get your realization. This is what we should expect at the minimum. So we do not know. The main issue right now is that we do not know what to expect when we get realization. What is the meaning of realization? The first thing is to know yourself, to know your chakras, to know your real identity of being the spirit, and to be collectively conscious. We also get thoughtless awareness when our Kundalini rises and pierces our Agya Chakra here and goes to Sahasrara. So all the time we are thinking. We are under stress about the past, about the future, something or the else. When Kundalini awakens and crosses this chakra, we go beyond thoughts. So all thoughts drop out, and we are completely aware. So we are free of those thoughts that keep bothering us all the time. And what happens is that we are in control of ourselves. Otherwise, we cannot control our thoughts. If I ask you to sit down and be thoughtless, you cannot do that. There's always some or the other thought coming to you. So that is another benefit of Kundalini awakening, and something that happens post Kundalini awakening. So there are a lot of things to talk about in that, and maybe slowly and gradually in each session we'll talk more and more about what it means to get a realization and what all we should expect. So what we'll do now is talk a little bit more about this subtle system, and we'll talk about the three nadis that we have today in detail. And each time we'll talk about one of the chakras in detail. So we'll just move on and understand more about these nadis that we have inside us. So why do we have these three nadis, first of all? So our brain is like a prism area that when God's energy, you can say it enters like a light inside us when we're in the mother's womb. And we know that in prism, when light enters, it refracts, it goes into different directions. So similarly, when God's energy entered inside us, it got divided into three channels, and it went into three different directions. And that is how these three nadis got created inside us. So let me talk about the left channel first, which is called as the Ida Nadi. So in medical terminology, this is called as the left sympathetic nervous system. Medical science talks about only sympathetic nervous system, but this is the left part of sympathetic nervous system. So what happens is that this nadi, essentially this channel, is responsible for our emotions. So we exist on a lot of planes. So to understand who am I when I say, so I can say that I'm this body, or I can say that I'm this brain that is thinking mentally and coming to conclusions about everything in life. Or I can say that no, I'm these emotions that govern me, that tell me that no, I should not do this, I like this, etc. Apart from that, in reality, what we actually are, all these three planes are superficial. What we really are is our spirit. So there are four planes that we exist upon. And these nadis and chakras govern all of these planes inside us. And they create this personality that we have um, on the outside completely. So this left channel is solely responsible for all our emotions. So this nadi gives us joy, essentially. This nadi is also called as the nadi of the moon, the moon channel, Chandra nadi. This nadi is also, it gets, when we use it a lot. So when we are very, very emotional, we always think of the past a lot. So this nadi is also governing all our past. All our past is essentially, it's stored in this nadi. So beyond our left side, which is our past, is our subconscious. So there's a subconscious mind that we have, and beyond that subconscious is our collective subconscious. So these are other planes that we exist at. So this nadi essentially is about emotions, about our past. So if we are someone who always keeps talking about the past too much, or we are a very depressed being, or we are very, very emotional. We always tend to get very emotional with with the slightest of things. Then we use this nadi a lot. So there are some people who keep talking about the past. Oh, this happened to me when I was there, and this didn't happen to me, and all that guilt and all that, you can say, that lost opportunity or something like that. Some people always talk about that, and they're always on this nadi. They're always using this side a lot. And when we use this side a lot, this nadi gets very cold, because this is the moon channel inside us. And when this gets very cold, in Sahaja Yoga, we have treatments where we use a candle or a diya to clear this out. This nadi is also responsible for, when we use this channel a lot, we get into diseases which are called as not curable by medical science. So going too much into this nadi, we know that we have depression. There are diseases that I don't want to really name right now, but they're called as psychosomatic diseases, which are related to our psyche and not just the physical body. So these diseases come to us from this channel. Even cancer is triggered by left side movements. Also, this nadi gets really hampered by going to tantrikas, people who delve into any kinds of wrong methods where they work with spirits or anything like that, wrong gurus who do mesmerism or anything like that. They also affect this nadi very badly, and we get into a lot of diseases. So this nadi, essentially, you feel it on your left hand. So you can feel the state of your left channel on your left hand in meditation. So, so we have talked a little bit about the left channel. Now we'll talk about the right channel. So everything about the right channel is the exact opposite of the left one. So the right channel is called as Pingla Nadi, and in medical terminology, it can be called as the right sympathetic nervous system. So this is essentially the sun channel, the Surya Nadi inside us. And this is responsible for our mental and physical activities. So when we say emotions, we know what emotions are inside it. That is all left side. And when we say mental, that is, we're thinking by our brain and doing all physical activities. All of that is done by this right channel. So this right channel, when overused and over indulged into, it gets very hot. And because it's the sun channel, and it's cleared out in Sahaja Yogas by using ice packs on the liver. There are various methods to clear it out. This channel is also, so when we are saying that all our activities are done by it, so this channel leads into ego development on our brain side. So I didn't talk about that in the left channel. That gives us our conditionings and our superego, what is called as in psychology. On the right side, it develops into ego. So if we do too much work, we do too much planning and all of that, we go into a trip there where we think that we are doing everything, where essentially everything is done by God. Every living work, Shree Mataji always talks about in her lectures, is that human beings do no living work. Whatever we create, we have created from something dead into something else, which is dead. So all living work is essentially done by God Almighty, but we go into these trips where we think that we are doing this, we are doing that, where in reality we are doing nothing. So this channel is responsible for developing our ego. Also, it's as I said, it's responsible for all our activities. We can see that this channel is starting from the second chakra inside us, and when we use, so what happens is that this chakra that we see, the yellow one, that's responsible for all our taking care of all our organs in that area, like the liver, spleen, pancreas, etc. And when we use too much of this right channel in thinking or activity, then this chakra has to supply energy for that thinking, and that is when it neglects these organs inside us. So you'll find that people who work too much, plan too much, sitting on the desk, working a lot, and thinking about the future a lot, those are the people who get into diabetes or similar problems. Stressful work situations can give you liver troubles. So all these diseases come into us because of these issues, that we go into some extreme, some or the other extreme. So we have heard a lot of saints talking about not going into extremes. What happens when we go into extremes is that we develop a lot of issues inside us, and we are not a balanced personality that can lead a balanced life. So we are all the time, we are either in the left or in the right to some or the other level. All of us are, which is what is giving us our life troubles essentially. So I think that's a little bit about this nadi. We feel this nadi on our right hand, of course. And so what happens is that when we are in the left or in the right, we are not in balance. So when we are not in balance, we cannot ascend. We know that an aeroplane can take off only when both the wings are balanced out. If there is any kind of imbalance inside us, our kundalini cannot rise, which is why in all our dharmas, scriptures, all the great saints, they've always talked about leading a life which is balanced, which is um, a righteous life, which is a life which will keep us in a path that whenever the time comes for us to get the realization, we are able to get it. But if we are leading a very a life with most extreme, it is maybe on the right, maybe on the left, whatever, then it becomes a little difficult to get our self-realization. So in Sahaj Yoga, we have methods to first balance us out. These two channels, we balance them out, we come on the central path, and that is only when the Kundalini rises. So what is on the central path? It's our Sushumna Nadi. This Nadi is essentially it's called as the parasympathetic nervous system in medical terminology. Also, this channel is about the present. So we do all our mental, emotional, physical activities from the left and right channel, and we think about the past and the present through these channels. But when we are in the center, we are in the present, and that is the state of which gives us our self-realization. So um, on the other side, on the spiritual side, which we have not talked about yet, these three channels are governed by the three powers that are described in the Hindu religion that we know of. So the left channel is governed by Mahakali power. The right channel is governed by Mahasaraswati power, and the central channel is governed by our Mahalakshmi power. So the central path is also the path of evolution inside us. It's the different chakras that are created on the central path are actually our milestones of evolution. So right from amoeba to animal stage to human stage, all these chakras have gradually developed, and they are more developed in human beings. Of course, the lower chakras are there in animals as well. So this is essentially the path of our evolution, and this being on this nadi only can give you your self-realization. In terms of spirituality, another aspect that we have not talked about is that the left channel was the channel of the bhakti marg. So all our devotion to God, there are a lot of people who talk about just devotion. That happens through our left channel. All that bhakti, all that bhajans and all of that, that comes from our left side because that is emotions. And the right channel is, you can say, is the karm yogi, the path of action, you can say. So even the Vedas, the Hom, Havan, Yajna, and all of that was done to excite the elements inside us and to awaken the gods and goddesses and to gain siddhis and powers on the right channel. All of that was done, you can say, in the history of seeking and spiritual history. All of that was done on the right channel. Whereas the central path is what that really gives you your realization. So, for example, the Nathpanthis that have happened in Maharashtra, they have worked on the central channel. All these real great saints and sages that have happened, they have worked on the central channel, and they have talked about in various forms. So they have talked about your rebirth. In Sanskrit, a Brahman is really called as Dvijaha. Dvijaha means who is twice born, because once we are born as an egg and then we come out as a bird, when we really get to see the world in reality. So all of that work has happened on the central channel. So this is to some extent in quite details about the three channels that we have inside us. And what we'll do now is that quickly in a couple of lines just talk about the various chakras, because next time what we'll do is talk about Muladhara chakra in great details. So as I mentioned, all of these chakras can be felt on our hands. So Muladhara chakra is felt where we have our arm and our wrist, basically above our wrist on our palms, we feel this chakra. And this chakra is governed by Sri Ganesh. So that's the first deity that we always worship. And when this chakra is awakened, we get his qualities of innocence, wisdom, Pavitrata Mangal Mehta, as it's called in Hindi. This chakra, as is obvious, is governing all the excretion-related and sex-related organs that we have in this area. All those physical problems also get cured when this chakra gets awakened. The chakra above this in yellow is called as the Swadhisthana chakra. This chakra is governed by Brahmadev Saraswati inside us. And they, as you know, are the creators. So this chakra gives us creativity, all kinds of creativities in art, in any walk of life that we are living. We get different qualities of creativity when this chakra rises. And this chakra, as we know, is also governing, as I talked about, the right channel. So all our work, our physical work, mental work, the activities, the planning and all that happens, and it governs a lot of organs in this area like liver, spleen, pancreas, etc. And this chakra is felt on our thumbs, left and right side. So every chakra has three sides, left, right, and center. So when both of these chakras are catching, that means the center chakra is catching. When it's catching on the left thumb, means the left Swadhisthana is catching, and so on. So moving on to the third chakra that we have, that's the Nabhi chakra. And this is governed by Lakshmi Narayan inside us, who's the deity of, we can say, our well-being and our evolution as well, because we know that Sri Vishnu took birth in so many ages, and he brought about our evolution, like first in form of a fish, then a tortoise, and then a lion, and all of that. And now, finally, the eighth one happened as Sri Krishna, as the complete Avtara. So our evolution, our seeking, when we are seeking God, that comes into us from this chakra. So it's very, very important inside us. So we know that we all have been seeking something, maybe in terms of money and power and all of that. So it eventually leads into seeking God. And that is the quality of this chakra. Also, as we know that real Lakshmipati, being real Lakshmipati means being generous to others and taking care of everyone around you. All of those qualities comes from this chakra as well. Around this, as you see in a green circle, is called as the Bhavsagara. It's named as void. So we have heard of Bhavsagara, maybe if we have talked about spirituality before, a lot in terms of how the goddess takes us across the Bhavsagara, how she protects her devotees. So this Bhavsagara, essentially, this void is governed by the primordial master inside us. So the primordial master is he has taken incarnation on various occasions. The main 10 incarnations that have happened that are spread across the globe that we know of is, for example, there's Muhammad Sahib, there's Guru Nanak, there is Raja Janak, there is Adi Guru Shankaracharya, there is Zoroaster, Zen, Lao Tse, and so many others like that. So there are 10 such masters who are governing this chakra. And this is essentially the place of dharma inside us, religion. So when we talk about religion, we talk about Hindu, Muslim, etc. So it's essentially an inner religion inside us, which tells us that this is wrong, this is right. So that is present here, and that is governed by these 10 masters inside us, who have on various occasions told us what to do, what not to do. Above, so this chakra is felt around the center of the palm. on a circle around the center of the palm on both hands. Above this chakra is the heart chakra inside us. And this chakra is governed by goddess Durga, the Jagadamba, the mother of the universe. And she is essentially, um, she gives us the confidence that she's protecting us. So that sense of security comes into us. Also, this chakra, as is understood, because on the left hand side is the place of the spirit where Shri Shiv Parvati reside, is also giving us the qualities of love and compassion for everyone. Because when we really know that we are the spirit and so is the other, then we are filled with love and compassion for everyone. Whereas on the right side we have Sri Sitaram sitting here, and they tell us what are our maryadas, how we should be living a life in which is which is defined by our boundaries in various relationships with others, as a husband, a wife, and a son, and a father, and a king. So all of that is governed by the right heart chakra. Above the, and this chakra we feel on our small little fingers on our hands, the smallest fingers. Above this chakra we have the Vishuddhi chakra, which is on behind our throat. This is governed by Sri Radha Krishna inside us. This chakra is responsible for a lot of things. So, for example, our communication, our ears, nose, throat, our hands, all of this is governed by this chakra. And this chakra is also giving us a collectivity, a sense of collectivity. So, all of that comes from here. Also, when this chakra is awakened, we get a sense of, we get the witness state in meditation where we look at the whole world like a play, like Sri Krishna really did. And we get all of his good qualities that we can imagine, of sweetness, of diplomacy, and all that. Um, so a lot of things hurt these chakras. I've not talked about them a lot, but let's say smoking hurts Vishuddhi a lot. Feeling guilty is something that hurts this chakra a lot. And when we feel guilty, our left side of Vishuddhi chakra gets caught, and we do not feel the vibrations on our hands in meditation. So it's very, very important that we do not feel guilty. We let Kundalini and the God decide who's wrong, what we have done and not. So that is something which is very important when we get into meditation just after this. Above this is the Agya chakra. This chakra is essentially the biggest hurdle when Kundalini rises, because it's a constricted path created by the three nadis here. We can see all of them cross over here. This chakra is talking about forgiveness, and that is essentially very different for a lot of us at different stages of life. And we know that the last that have come on this earth, the great incarnations of Jesus Christ, of Gautam Buddha and Mahavira, they've all talked about forgiving others, and they govern this chakra. So this chakra gets constricted because of that. So in meditation, we talk about forgiving others as well. And after this, the last chakra. So this chakra we feel here on the ring finger that we have on left and right. So the front agya we can feel on the right side, and the back agya we feel on the left side. After this, we have the Sahasrara chakra, which is on the top of our head. So when Kundalini crosses the agya chakra, it sucks in the ego and superego that have been created inside us because of our actions and our conditionings. And all of that, when Kundalini sucks in, the door for Agya, it opens, and the Kundalini crosses our Sahasrara chakra. When it does that, we are in union with the divine. So that is when the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost, or cool breeze, we can say the Salilam Chaitanya as described by Shankaracharya, the all-pervading power of love of God, we can call it, the Param Chaitanya, the Ritambhara Pragya. It enters inside us, and we feel it flowing through us, and we can feel it on our hands. So this is the chakra that gives us our union, essentially. So we have talked a little bit about these chakras, and now let's get into the thing that's most important, is trying to get the experience of self-realization. So now that's the whole point. That's the tricky question. How does it happen? So it is said that self-realization can happen in a split of a second. And so Shivaji Maharaj's guru, Ramdas Swami, he he was once questioned by Shivaji Maharaj, how do I get self-realization? How does it happen, and how long does it take? So he answered that. Um, so the king Shivaji Maharaj was he was asking the question. So he said that as soon as you climb your horse, so you have put one leg on this side of the horse, you take it to the other side. That much time it takes for the kundalini to rise, for you to get your self-realization. What he meant was that it meant nothing. It means no time is taken in getting your self-realization. The only thing that you need is someone who is uh, देने वाला चाहिए और लेने वाला चाहिए. That means someone who is able to give it and someone who is able to accept it. So someone has to be the authority who can give it. So Shree Mataji here is the authority in front of us. For whatever reasons, let us get past that and let us accept it that her photo is what is giving this realization to us. Her photo has these vibrations which can raise the kundalini inside us and give us this self-realization. It's only us who has to be in a state when we are asking for it. The only thing that we can really do here is ask for it. And we'll get into meditation. There are some steps that are there which helps cleanse some of these chakras for us, create the path for kundalini, and ask for self-realization from Shree Mataji. So we just have to be in that right state of mind. We have to understand how this is working out is because of her grace. So what we'll do is first show you those steps in your screen, and then you can see those steps with the eyes open, and then we will close our eyes and get into meditation and do those steps with some prayers along with it. So Mike, if you could just put up that. So what we do in Sahaja Yoga in meditation is that first we have to balance the left and right channel that we just talked about. All our cleansing happens by using the 5 elements inside us. So we are created by these elements, so we can be easily cleansed by them. So some of these elements we'll use in meditation. Always we keep a diya or a light burning in front of Shree Mataji's photo when we sit to meditate. And for cleansing our left channel, we have to keep our left hand in our lap and right hand on the Mother Earth. So we are using the earth element here for cleansing the left channel. So we'll have some prayers along with it. After this, we bring back our hand into the lap and we put the left hand towards the sky. We bend our elbow and we put the left hand towards the sky like this. And we use the ether element, the sky element, whatever we want to call it. And we have some prayers that we do along with it. After this, we put both our hands on the Mother Earth and we do some prayers. So now, after these 3 steps, we come into balance. So we have balanced the 3 channels inside us. Now, we use the right hand, which is the hand of action inside us. And we use it on our left side chakras, a few of them. So we use the right hand, we put it on our heart. So we have seen that heart is the place of our spirit. We do some prayers here. Then we use the same hand and put it across our forehead, like we would do when we have a headache. We do some prayers here. Then we bring this hand behind our head, where we put the pillow and let the head rest on our hands. Again, we do some prayers here. And the last step, we bring our hand on the top of our head, where there was a soft bone when we were a kid. We have to stretch our fingers completely and put the right hand with force on top of our head. And with this hand, we have to move our scalp in a clockwise direction and do some prayers here. So this is it. The steps are these. There are some prayers along with it. But this is the whole process that we'll do in meditation. So as I mentioned, the most important thing here is essentially understanding that moving our hands and doing prayers is not something that can give you a realization. uh, the acceptance that there could be a that that Shree Mataji would be the higher authority for giving us our self-realization is very important before we get into this process. So we have to be very humble, and we have to sit with utmost um, sincerity and devotion, and with the utmost clear desire inside us that we want our self realization. We want the divine, we want the highest that God has to offer. We want the union with His power. So if we keep that clear, simple thought inside us before sitting into meditation, we can really get it by her grace. So please look at Shree Mataji's photo with Shraddha, with devotion, and pray that Mother, please give me my self realization. Now, please close your eyes. We'll put our right hand on the Mother Earth and left hand towards Shree Mataji and pray that Mother, please cleanse my left channel. Please suck all the negativities in my Ida Nadi through the Mother Earth. We have to keep our attention on the left hand on our palm and see what do we feel there. Sometimes we also feel that something is going from our right hand into the earth. Mother, please cleanse my Ida Nadi. Suck all of its negativities into the Mother Earth. We'll bring back our right hand into the lap. We'll put our left hand towards the sky by bending the elbow. Now we have to pray, Mother, please cleanse my Pingla Nadi, my right channel. Please suck in all of the excessive heat and all the negativities of this channel through the ether element, the sky element. Now we'll bring back the hand into the lap. Now we'll put both these hands on the Mother Earth. Bring your attention inside on your spine, which is right in the middle. We have to pray here, Mother, please give us a state of balance. Mother, please suck out all the remaining imbalances, impurities, and negativities into Mother Earth and bring us into a state of complete balance. Now bring back both your hands on the lap. We'll put our right hand on the heart, press it a little so that we feel our heart thumping. Here is the seat of spirit inside us. The Atma resides here and bears witness to all that we do. It is not yet in our consciousness. We think that we are this body, this mind, this intellect, these emotions, and whatnot. Whereas in reality, we are only the spirit. So here we have to say a truth. We have to establish it and say it with full confidence that, Mother, I am the spirit. Mother, I am nothing else but the spirit. Kundalini inside you loves to hear that. And it knows that we are ready for a realization. Mother, I am the spirit. Mother, I'm nothing else but the pure spirit. I'm not this body, mind, anything else that we consider ourselves to be. Count them off and say that, Mother, I'm not this, but I'm just the spirit. Now, because we are the spirit, we have done nothing wrong. The spirit doesn't do anything. So say that, Mother, I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty at all because I'm the spirit. Mother, I'm not guilty because I'm the pure spirit. Mother, I am not guilty at all. This is very important, as I said, because if we feel guilty, we do not feel the vibrations. So say it with full confidence in front of your mother, and call Shree Mataji as mother. But, Mother, I am not guilty at all. Now bring this hand on your forehead and bend your head forwards a little, forward a little, and press on both sides from this hand on the forehead, like you may have done when you have had a headache. Now, this chakra is very important, as we've seen that the three nadis come and cross over here. And the main blockage here is our anger with others, not forgiving others. So we have to say, Mother, I forgive everyone, without remembering the names of the people. Just say on a blanket cover, Mother, I forgive everyone. Even if we don't forgive, we do not actually do anything. But if we don't forgive, this chakra remains caught up and we are also in agony. So please just say that, Mother, from the bottom of my heart, I forgive everybody. When we forgive, God takes over. Now bring this hand on the back of your head, push back your head upwards a little, backwards on the hand. Now, for our own self satisfaction, we have to ask for forgiveness from God. Oh God, if we have done any mistakes, knowingly or unknowingly, please forgive us. The Almighty is notion of forgiveness. Whatever wrong we may have done, He can forgive. So just ask once, oh God, whatever wrong I've done, knowingly or unknowingly, Please forgive. Now bring your right hand on the top of your head where we have had a soft bone when we were a small child. That's the fontanel bone area. We have to push back our fingers, and with the center of our palm, we have to press hard on this area and move the scalp in a clockwise direction. Now, here, Shree Mataji cannot surpass our freedom, which has been given to us by God Almighty. So, we have to really ask for it. Mother, please give me my self realization. We'll keep moving the scalp from our hand and doing this prayer. Here. Mother, please give me my self realization. Mother, please give me the union with the Almighty. Mother, please give me my self realization. Mother, please give me my self realization. Bring back the hand into your lap. We'll keep our attention on the top of the head where we just had our hand for half a minute. Bring your attention to your palms. See from the right middle if you feel anything, any cool breeze coming out, a hot breeze maybe sometimes, or you have a sensation of tingling on some of your fingers because they can be caused by some of the chakras that are catching maybe. There could be some heaviness. Just watch that. Now bring your hand again on the top of your head where you just kept your hand and get prayed, and bring the hand a little above the head, 2-3 inches above the head. Here you would feel a cool breeze coming out of your head. It can be a hot breeze as well. You can move your hand back and forth a little, up and below a little. There would be a specific place from where you would feel this cool breeze coming out. Now bring this hand back into the lap. Now try this with the left hand. Just a little above the fontanel bone area. Please check if there's a cool or hot breeze coming from a particular place. Bring the hand back into your lap. Now put both your hands towards the sky and push back your head completely towards the sky and push back your head. Now we have to ask a fundamental question here. Mother, is this the power of the divine? Mother, is this Param Chaitanya? Mother, is this the all pervading power of God that has created this whole universe? You ask any one of these questions 3 times. In response, the vibrations would increase. Now bring back both your hands into your lap and see what you feel in your palms. Just keep your attention on the top of the head and sit for meditation for half a minute or a minute. Now we can open our eyes and look at Shree Mataji's photo. You'll find that you can look at her photo now without thinking. Now there are no thoughts. As a thanks to her for this state and these vibrations, we bring both our hands together and thank her and do a pranam. Jai Shree Mataji. So all of us would have felt something or the other in one hand or the other hand, maybe in both hands, maybe on top of our head. This is like a primule coming out of the Mother Earth. This is just the beginning where some small part of the Kundalini has risen, and you have felt for the first time the power of the God Almighty. What we need to do is do meditation daily, in the morning and the evening, just for 10 minutes. You do not need to do all of this process daily, but there are some other things which are required, which will help you to do this meditation, which we can all share on a WhatsApp group that we have, which a link would be shared shortly about. But doing a meditation daily, both times in the morning and the evening, is very important for you to really gain uh, a real experience about what Sahaja Yoga can offer. Also, you can do that. You can join for a few more days. If you have just joined in, I would request that you continue doing this for some time, so that you really develop your self-realization. If you have any questions, you can drop them in the chat sections. Mayank, if you would like to take over. Jai Shree Mataji.
Jai Shree Mataji, everyone. As mentioned earlier, self-realization session is conducted on this Zoom meeting and on this YouTube channel on a daily basis. In morning 8 a.m. and afternoon 4:15 p.m. and this 7:45 session. Every day it is in Hindi, but on Saturday for the 7:45 session will always be conducted in English. So if you have any friend or family who would be more comfortable in watching this in English, you can share this link with them. We have shared the Zoom meeting link and our YouTube channel subscription link in the chat. If you subscribe to the channel, you will easily get all the links to everyday's session. If you have any doubt, or do you want to feel if you want to share how you felt, you can share in the chat, or you can join the Zoom using the link given and chat with us. On our WhatsApp group, we keep sharing the tutorials to how to do meditation at your home. We share Shree Mataji's lectures and the links to the self-realization and meditation sessions. If you join the WhatsApp group, you will easily get the link as well. Sahaja, you can unmute your mic and ask your questions.
Jai Shree Mataji.
Jai Shree Mataji.
I'm just beginners.
Acha. Sarat, if whatever questions you may have, when did you join first? Is it today that you have just joined?
Yeah, just I joined today because those friends have told me already, introduced with me, because I went last Friday. We have collectivities group up here in Qatar. I am living in Qatar.
Qatar. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so now we can watch the live video. We can start the meditation today because those friends have told me about Mataji. So before I don't know anything now, I am very interested to about Mataji because I have in one friend here, Bikram Limbu. He from Nepal. He is the one told me about Jai Shri Mataji, about everything about Mataji, about what is the meditation, what is the seven chakras. So he is the one introduced with me everything. So because I'm the bachelor, because I don't know anything about before, because I have stress, depression, everything. So he's the one introduced with me because I'm very very happy. I'm very pressure to my Motherji. I'm very happy to all. So now I can start last week. I'm very happy. I don't have any depression right now.
Wow, that's so amazing to hear, Sarath. That's amazing.
Yeah, because last Friday, because 2 days before I went to the about meditation center. We have meditation center in Qatar.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah,
And they have opened up. There is no fear of corona. They have opened centers there.
No, it's not about a group of people. We have some friends, like 4 or 6 people.
Acha,
We
acha.
have in. Yeah.
Acha, acha. Very nice. Very nice. Sarath. This is so amazing.
Yeah.
And you have started feeling vibrations on your hands, or?
Yeah, I started feeling vibration also, cool breeze also.
Oh, very nice. It is amazing, Sarath.
Yeah.
So if you
Yes,
have any questions, the group has any questions, Sarath, we're happy to help with whatever you need.
Yeah, please. Can you give me the Madaji photos because I don't have any photos of Madaji.
So Sarath, we have a facility for that, but I'm not sure if they send to Qatar or not. There's a person based out of Indore who is helping us with this. Mayank, maybe you can share more about that with Sarath.
Sarath, if you can share your contact details in the chat, I'll contact you and let you know if we can help you regarding this.
Sure. I will share my contact.
If you share your WhatsApp number or email address, anything.
So I can share my WhatsApp number. Sure, fine.
Sure. Share it in the chat, and I'll get back to you.
Thank you. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji, Sarath. Great talking to you. Thank you so much. Mayank, do we have anybody joining or any questions from YouTube?
No questions yet. We can wait a couple of minutes more. If anybody has any experience to share or any questions or any doubts to ask, you can share in the chat, or you can join the Zoom meeting using the link. Give a video description and you can talk with us. You can share your experience. In a couple of minutes, we'll be closing the session otherwise. Jai Shri Mataji.
Mayank, I believe we can close the session now.
Yeah. Jai Shri Mataji to everyone. As we mentioned earlier, there is regular self-realization session on this channel. Every day it is in Hindi, 3 times daily. And on Saturday, we have started this 7:45 session in English. If you have any friends or family who would like to watch this in this language, you can share this link with them, and weekly we'll have this session so they can join next week also if they have any doubt. We'll take Shree Mataji's permission and close today's session. Thank you, Shree Mataji, for today's meditation and this joy that you have given us. Jai Shri Mataji.
Jai Shri Mataji.